Hi there, in this video we are going to have a look into KQL and how you can process data with KQL in Microsoft Fabric. I will show you some of the basic queries that you can use to work with your data, and of course also will explain to you what they do and how you can use them. As always, I'm doing this in cooperation with Reitzer. He's writing these really great articles about, well, what I'm talking about. And so I will put the link in the description and make sure to have a look if you want to read about this. Before we get started with KQL, we need some data. And if you don't have a demo data set yet, I will put a link in the description with some tutorial from Microsoft, 7 steps, really easy, and it will actually show you how you can do that. And Microsoft provides these demo data sets, so just follow that tutorial to get some data if you don't have any data yet. And once you have your data in place, go to your Eventhouse and select the KQL database. And when you do that, you will see actually something like this, where you have the option to click on Query with Code. And this is a really nice option because it also gives you some suggestions of stuff that you could do. Especially if you're new to this topic, it can be really great to just try the options provided there. So when you click on the Show Any 100 Records, a query is automatically generated and you see the results in a table format. And I will show you this in the screenshot and talk you through what you're actually looking at. So first we see bikes, and that's the name of our table, or at least of my table in my KQL database. You could also only run like this table name, like bikes. But in my case, this would lead to an error because there's a limit of 500,000 records. And this makes kind of sense because why would you look at 500,000 records row by row? Then you see this pipe symbol. And the pipe symbol actually connects commands in KQL. And you can see it as passing data from one step to the next step. And then you see here take. So the take command, it limits results. So we could say take 100 and then we get 100 rows. Makes it much easier to work with your data, especially if you're playing around and want to see how different functionalities work. Then the next command I want to talk about is project. And project is amazing because we just did this take statement and you see you get all the columns in your table, but you don't always want all these columns in your table. Often you only want some specific columns, and you can do that by writing project and then which columns you want to see. And in this case, we only want to see neighborhood, number of bikes, number of empty dogs, and current time. So this also already increases the readability of our data for me as end user interested in this data. And now I'm more about data visualization and portraying data in a way that makes sense to the end user. So I don't like these standard names where everything is written together or with an underscore. I want to have some white space in between. And you can also do that in your query by using aliases. And you can see this in this example where we can actually say this is how we want this to be written, and it refers to a certain column. And then of course we have the summarize statement. And summarize is great when you want to do some aggregation, like the sum, the average, the min, the max, these kind of things. You can just use the summarize command and then say what you want to see and which aggregation you want to use. The next one that I want to talk about is render. And this is one of my favorites, but of course that's because I like to visualize my data. With render, you can already visualize your data. In this example, I use the bar chart, render bar chart, which results in a visual. And in this example, next to using render and bar chart, I also used order by, which is also the next statement, where I can say how I want my data to be ordered, which in this case makes sense because I want to see the number of bikes in the neighborhood and I want this in a logical order, so I can quickly see which one had the most bikes and which the least. And the command that I want to talk about is actually top. And top, well, it's like a top 5 or a top 10 or what you choose of your data. And this can be really good if you just want to give these compressed insights. Like these are the top 5 neighborhoods with the most bikes or the most empty dogs, these kind of things. And last but not least, we have the where statement. And where statements are great because they help you to filter some rows that you don't want to see anyway. So you could say, I only want to see the data if there are, in this example, more than 5 bikes. And you can combine this also with an AND statement or different statements where you could say, and the amount of empty dogs must be bigger or smaller than this. And this is really great because it helps you to filter your rows. So these are all some basic KQL commands that you can use to query your data. Starting with take, where you can say, I want a selection of my data. Going to project, where you choose which columns do I want to see. And I also showed you how you can get some white space in these column names. Going to summarize, where you can aggregate your data. And of course, render, visualize it, and order by and top. And of course, also the where statement to filter some rows. I hope this really quick summary of KQL commands helps you to get an idea what you can do. Make sure to read Reitz's article. He has plenty of screenshots and code there too, so you can also follow that along. Thank you for watching this.